Here I am, sorry, 1 minute late. Welcome everybody, it's Vanessa Baker here, coming to you from Waiuku. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator, and I'm popping in today to share some more crafting joy with you. Just noticed that light shining on my glasses, that's a bit annoying, isn't it? Okay, I'm just going to double check my sound and everything, one tick, because we don't want to go to all the effort and then have it play up my glasses. Okay, we're all good. Excellent. So welcome along. And I've got an exciting project for you today. So as you know, Paper Pumpkin launched in New Zealand at the beginning of this month. And we got our first kits, which are all arriving all around the country, and it's fantastic. And so today I've got an alternative project where I'm taking things from the kit and making a different project than the ones that are in the instructions. So it's just a different way to take a new take on it. And then I've also got some other exciting developments with Paper Pumpkin. So I'm just going to flip the camera around to my desk, and I've just finished printing this little page. So they've now just released the refill kit, the refill for the kit. So if you've already purchased a kit, and your kit comes with the stamps, I think that's the only thing that's, oh, and the ink. Where's my little ink spot here? I have the full pad, so I just left the ink in my box, but I will get it out to show you. So your kit comes with a little ink spot and the stamps. But you can, so once you've played with it and had your fun and it's all finished, you can keep those and purchase another set of the card bases, the envelopes, the adhesive, all the labels and all the other pre-printed pieces. So this is called the refill, and for $31 you can order this with a normal order. With any other Stampin' Up supplies that you need, like some other glue or other stamps and things. And you'll receive this, and then you can make the cards all over again. And you can make them the same or different or however you like. So that's quite exciting. So that just dropped today. And the other thing I've got is a little peek at next month's Paper Pumpkin. So every month, you've got until the 10th of the month to register, unless you have a subscription. So if you've already got your subscription organised and you got the April one, then you don't have to do anything. You can just let it tick over, and you'll receive your May kit around about the 20th, I'm thinking, of the month. We're probably going to see that arriving between 16th to 20th, somewhere around there. And so you don't have to do anything, you're all set. But if you haven't yet registered, you've got till the 10th if you want this May kit. So the May kit is featuring silver foil, which looks like it's on the actual card bases, which is quite exciting. So I can see lots of ideas with that. And also this window shape, which is quite intriguing. And these kind of look like Chinese lanterns. So that's all we know. We don't have any other information at this stage. So I'm looking forward to receiving that. Oops. And lastly, as a subscriber, you can add on the Wonderful Scenes dies. For $28, you get 5 dies, and it's telling us here that this particular die here coordinates with the April kit, which is the one we're using today. This one up here, this looks like a firework going off, is coordinating with the May kit, and then over here we've got the butterflies and flowers, and that will coordinate with the kit that's coming in June. So this die set covers those 3 months, and just is an add-on to help you expand on, on the projects and do different things. Oh, it's also got that wonderful word. So it's wonderful with flowers and the butterflies. So that's kind of cool. And of course you can keep these and use them, forever. So a great deal, $28 for 5 dies. So if you're a subscriber, you can get that now, or you can wait until you've got all 3 kits and then get it then. So yeah, really cool. So without further ado, I'll show you the cards. So the kit makes these 3 cards as per the instructions. So you've got this one here with your little cabin on the side of a lake and the paddles and life vest. Very cool. And I love this background, that sort of wood beachy look. This one here with your wharf and a fish. Happy Father's Day. Quite a cool card. And I love these little pebbles. They really do look like little rocks. And this, I don't know, this one might be my favourite with the bicycle. It's like you've cycled to the beach, and I like this older, wiser, better sentiment on that one. Yeah, so those are the cards that the kit has the instructions for. So you can make them up just like that, and you get 3 of each. So that's really cool. But this card, this time, I'm doing things a little bit differently. So I saw a card that's not with the paper pumpkin. It was actually a card made by Zoe Tant from the UK. And it's a new technique that is going around at the moment. And I'm not 100% sure of the name. It's either Double Vision or Eclipse technique. And her card, she'd made it with that gallery, beautiful gallery paper. It has sort of scenes, and the scene she'd picked was like a beach with boats on it. And it was all sort of in blues and blues, sort of pecan pie kind of colour, and sort of greys. And yeah, so she'd made her card in the shape of the party banner. And she'd used this technique. And as soon as I saw it, I thought, oh, I could do that with the paper pumpkin. So that's what I've done. I've got the card base already cut here. So that's made with the party banner die. And when you run, I've had my card cut and scored, and then I just put the die above that score line. So it didn't cut the score line, but it cut the sides and the bottom for me. So that's how I made my base. And then I started doing layers, and I've got this, my intention was to actually use this paper, which when you cut, I'll show you the card base. Hold on a minute, this one. So what I've done is I've taken the scene off this piece of the card, but on the back is the checkered, or plaid, I think you call it, pattern. So my plan was to use that for the next layer. However, I cut it too small. So I just wanted to show you that. I still have it, and I will use it for something else. So then I had to change tack. And you'll see here, I'm actually going to use, this is where I cut it from. So that's the back of the card. And I wanted to show you not to throw this away, because I'm actually going to use this strip down the side just by cutting. Where's my trimmer? I'm just going to lay that in there. What I do is I put it in next to my blade, and then I just give it, it's a little bit harder with something that's cut like this, but I just pull it towards the blade. And then hopefully that's on the paper now is on the edge of the blade. There we are, that's better. The paper's on the edge of the blade, because I don't know the exact measurement, and I can move it freely, and then I can just go straight up. So now that should end. I'm going to just finish it at the bottom too. Oops, it's not straight at the bottom. So, but I can just cut that little piece, and I don't need the whole strip. And I probably won't keep that piece, but this piece, again, I could use that under a tag or as an edge piece, you know, so that's also going to be kept and used for something else. In fact, I'm just wondering if that would be long enough. Not quite. So what I'm going to do is put it so it's down the side of this panel. But that's, I could actually use it there, couldn't I? Or do I want it the full length? I was thinking I'd use it full length. So yeah, I might stick with that plan. But that one I will use later. Okay. And the same with this piece. So this is where I've cut out my layer from. But again, I can use this for something else. So yeah, And the one where I cut the actual seam from, again, I can use that for something else. Even this bit here, just for layering. So yeah, all the bits are useful. So for today, I've got, so Zoe had done this fabulous knot, which I tried to replicate. I ended up doing a figure of 8, I think, knot, which I just looked up online how to do that. So I've already knotted my thread, and then this is going to go at the top of here with these little eyelets. I just figured right this second how I'm going to do that actually. I was going to punch the holes and then stick the eyelets around, but what I'm going to do is actually stick them on first. And they're very small and fiddly. So, my tweezers. I should have cut it out, with adhesive sheet, but of course you always think of that afterwards. It is way too much glue. Deary me. I got quite a blob there. I'm just going to rub some off on a scrap. Okay, that's better. So you don't want it oozing everywhere. Okay, so I'm just going to come down probably about there. So I can make sure I get these even and then do the punching of the holes. So I'm just wanting very light little dots. Glue. And then try and get it in about the same position. The other side. Okay. So I might just let that sit a couple of minutes. So let's just put this piece on. So I love how that seam has come out, and I want the more detailed part of the pattern. And I've got that bit sticking out, so I'm going to do it part way down. So I'm just going to put some glue along this edge and go ahead and stick it on. I don't want too much of it showing because I don't want to make this piece sort of too wide. But I think I've got room just to do about that much. So again, I'll just let that sit and dry because I'm going to have to curve that bottom piece. But we can go back to this one now and do our hole punching. I'm lining up my punch there into my hole. Perfect. It's definitely the best way to do it. You can see where you're punching, and they look quite even. Right, so now I've got to thread this down through those holes. Could be tricky. This was just a piece that I had left over, so it's not really cut to size. You don't need this amount. But I just had it there, so I thought I would use it. Okay, so I want it to sit sort of like that. I'll flip it over, and actually I might just trim some off because there really is quite a lot here that I don't need. It's always nice to have extra when you're sort of fiddling around with things and doing that knot. It's handy. Now I'm using the tape out of the kit, so you get this tear and tape with your kit, and it also comes in that refill pack. Basically it's all the consumables that you can get again. So I'm just going to tack that at the back here, making sure it's nice and firm on the front. And I'll just leave the backing on, the tape. So that's my figure of 8 knot. Okay. So now that lay can go on. Now I'm probably thinking, actually no, I might, I'll stick it flat and then that will help hold that string down as well. Glue like that. Okay, so I want even border all the way around. Oh, now I've just realised I didn't really think about, because I've taken quite a bit of the height off the top there, but I think we'll be okay. So I want my snips, which have gone walkabout. Oh, there we go. So now I'm just going to snip away this extra, and I'm just going to curve it to match the bottom there. So it just gives it another little detail from a off-cut piece. And then that's going to go on dimensionals. Oh, first of all, I've got some stamping. So continuing with theme, where you use this little grass stamp straight onto the base to just add an extra dimension to the grass that's already printed. So I'm going to do the same here. And I've got my brand new Peaceful Pine ink pad. And this is one of the new magnetic ink pads, which I'm loving. So let's just go ahead and ink that up. I have used this stamp, so it should be okay. Right, and I'm trying to put the very bottom of the stamp right on that bottom edge because I don't really want a gap. And just going over the grass. Cool, oops, get it in the ink pad. There's something sticky on my finger. Okay, I'm really happy with that. So that's just a little detail there. And the other little detail we can add, which I've just remembered, is the birds. Although my message was going to go, I was going to put my message up here in the sky. I'm wondering if I just leave the birds off. Or perhaps I could just do 1 or 2 birds. There's 3 on the stamp. Let me get a block. I'm thinking that I might just grab that top bird. So what I can do is just go into my ink pad here, just on that corner, just pick up ink on one bird and then just pop him here in the sky, like so. Okay. Oh, while I've got that out, actually, I might just do the sentiment while we're doing stamping. So I've got happy birthday from another stamp set. There's some great words in this stamp set, but I feel like I've sort of used them already on the cards from, how they made them up. And I know that everyone always needs lots of birthday cards, so I thought I would do birthday. I don't want to get my head in the way, but I'm also trying to make sure I get it centered. But tricky. There we go. Not 100% straight, but it is what it is. It's handmade. I really love that that sentiment. Okay, so now we've just got to make it up with some dimensionals. I just cut these edge pieces into, can cut them smaller, but I think for a piece this size I want roughly the size of a normal dimensional. But this is the edges of the small ones. And I might just do 1.5 to add a couple of extra bits. Right. The thread I used, by the way, is from the pack where you get it's 4 different colours of Baker's twine. And so the one I used, I thought went quite well with that sort of wood grain paper. Okay. Trying to get this straight. I don't want it too close to my decoration at the top there. I think that's about right. Awesome. And then my happy birthday is going to go on up here. So I want a little piece of dimensional to go on the side here, under that end. It overhangs, and then the rest of it I'll stick Oh, do you know what I forgot to do? I forgot totally to do the technique. Can I get it off? Oh dear, crazy girl. You're probably sitting there going, what's the technique you're talking about? I was thinking, gosh, I'm nearly finished. Why am I nearly finished? Okay, let's pull all these off. Lucky I only just put them on. Hopefully I can get them off fairly cleanly. It's a waste of dimensionals, but apart from that, okay. We'll try that again. Right, so the technique is that you cut your focal point up into strips. So when I measured this, it was 8 centimetres. So I'm doing 1 centimetre increments, and there'll be 8 of them. So as you cut them, you keep them in order off to the side. So 1 centimetre each. And it looks really cool once it's done. Running out of space here. Shorten up a bit. Right, 1 centimetre. Yeah, so you've got to do all your stamping first before you start cutting. Make sure that last one's straight because it's easy for it to go wonky. Right, and we've got that extra little bit on the side that we know about. Okay, so that's all of those. And then you need another, so I didn't prepare a piece to stick them all onto now. So I'm going to have to cut that shape. Or was that one I put back in here? Actually, what have I got in here? So I keep, when I end up with extra shapes, I keep them in the packet. So it's quite useful to have when times like this, which is exactly what I need. Is a white one, the right size. So that's perfect. So the idea here is to choose a coordinating colour. So I could have done Pool Party or grey granite, something like that, but I already have a white one cut. So I'm just going to go ahead and do it with the white. So the first one is to stick the first one on. And I'm going to stick this just with glue. And I've got to line it up with the edge of the white because this bit's extra. So if I did it again, I would probably do that little extra bit last, because now I'm having to try and guess, or start at the other side. Anyway, that's done now. Okay, so the next one is going to go on dimensionals. But for now, we're just going to place it there, and then we're going to put the next flat one on. So, and then we're going to come back and do the dimensionals last. And the other tip I got from watching people who are making this piece here, because it's a card front, is quite firm. But if you're using DSP, they recommend that you back it first. Otherwise, the DSP, when you're putting it up on dimensionals, can be a little flimsy. So that was somebody's tip. Okay, so the next one will go there, and that will be raised. And then, so I'm just picking them up from the side here in the same order. That's right, isn't it? So I glued that. That one's raised, that one's glued, that one will be raised. And so I want to make sure they're butted hard up together. And then put the next one on. And then that one will be raised. This one will be stuck, and this one will be raised. Yep, that's going to work. That one's stuck. This one's raised. That one's stuck. Just make sure I've got it lined up properly. Oh, I don't, because I can see my ichrometer is telling me that it's not, it's wider at the bottom here. Okay, hopefully that will work out. Okay, so now we can go back and pull out these ones and put dimensionals on them. So I need some of the small dimensionals. Just see if I've got some here. Maybe put 4 per one, I think. Oh, sticking to my finger. Okay. So then this goes in. And I'm trying to make sure I've got it lined up. Everything. And then the next one will be this one. Quite a cool technique, and I'm just seeing it popping up all over the place at the moment. In some places it's called a clips, and I know I've seen a clips done before with the letters. So you do some stamping and then you cut out a word through your stamping and then put the word on dimensionals, and it looks like it's part of the design. Okay, and then this one here. And that one's called Eclipse. But I see people also calling this one Double Vision, which kind of makes sense as well. And this is the paper saving way to do it. The other way to do it is to have you need two of the same, and you cut one and you have the other one as a flat layer at the back. And you can, of course, make the strips different widths. I went for 1 centimetre because of the size of my banner that I started with, and also because of the size of the pattern. So I didn't want them too wide because this is quite delicate and it's kind of got that wharf going through, and to make the most of a smaller piece is to have more strips. But if you're doing a full card front, then you could definitely do a wider cut, which is probably slightly less fiddly. This is, probably as small as I would want to go. I wouldn't want to go any less than 1 centimetre. Okay, this is our last piece, which wasn't quite straight, so hopefully it's going to work out. Yeah, that's all right, it's meeting the edge. Yeah, so if I hold it like that, hopefully you can see that it goes up and down. Quite a cool technique, I thought. Okay, so now we can stick it. Getting back to this, we can now stick it on. Before I got all carried away. Got another one here. Actually, I'll leave them in twos. Okay, yay, using up all my edge pieces today. Fabulous. Great to see so many. So if you are a subscriber, there's various groups on Facebook. So if you did a search for Paper Pumpkin, you would find lots of different groups that get together and do alternatives for the kits every month. Okay, so I want that in the middle. Like that. Get rid of all those bits. Okay, now back to my words. So I think it's still going to work being on, it's actually, I've got 2 dimensionals now at this end, because I've got the one here plus the one that it's sitting on, the actual banner. So I'm wondering if I take that off and I just go with glue across those 4 higher points, 3 higher points, and not use dimensionals at all. Or I could put them down on those. Trouble is to get them in the right place. So I think I'll just go with glue. So I've got glue on my happy birthday. Is that straight? Is it just me? Is it crooked? So it's just going to rest on those 3 higher ones. Cool. Okay. Then I was just going to put some of these little pebbles down here. And I hadn't really thought about where they would go. Because I kind of get the concept and go, okay, yes, and I get all the things out and that, but I don't make one before these videos, because, especially with something like this, because it's, you've got limited supplies until I can get the refill, of course, now. And I like to be able to do different things rather than having them all the same. I'm going to put some of these little rocks, pebbles down here. Wondering about putting one down on there. I think it would want to be a bigger one just to make it look like there's 3. Well, just to give us 3. There will be 3. Maybe slightly off center. Oops, now it's gone underneath. Just push it where I want it. A little bit this way. Oh well, that'll do. Sort of there now. Yeah, I can't move it. Okay, that's cool. I've got embellishments on there, that's the main thing. And then I would do an inner, which I could do now actually. Let me just cut one out of some white. And I'll have to figure out what size. So this is the party banner dies. There's so many different sizes. It's great for things like this, for sort of nesting your different layers. Now an inner size, that would work. So what width is that? I might have to be just a smidge bigger than 10 for this. So how long is it? This is a little smaller than our normal New Zealand size. So rather than cutting the normal size and wasting some, I will cut it sort of to the size of the die. There we go. So I've just got a thin edge, but it makes it easier to run through. If you're too close to the edge, it can be a bit of a headache to get it through the machine, because it likes to twist and move a little bit as you go. Okay, so there's our piece. There's the leftovers. And I've just picked up some goop off my machine when I did that, off the plates, so they must need cleaning. They get little bits of glue and also little bits of just paper, and that's what makes that sort of dark black looking smudgy look to the paper. So I just use my glue eraser to wipe that off. And I'm just thinking I could use some of these bits here on the inside. I could use the rest of that piece from the front down the side there, or what else could I do? I could use, actually that could have the, not even, but I would cut it. It could have the whole thing just sitting in it. Is that a bit weird? Yeah, I think that's a bit strange. I think I like it like that better. Now, where are our stamps? So I've said happy birthday on the front. So you could, if it was for your son or your dad, you could stamp dad or son inside. That would be cool. We've got older, wiser, better, so we could do that. You are an inspiration. You are a lifesaver. So any of those would work. But what am I going to do? Also got that little piece that came off before. It doesn't go high enough really. It's sort of the wrong shape. And she had that going across straight at the bottom. But then it takes away the shape of the card. Okay, I'm just faffing now. Oh, the other thing I've got is the little fish and things from the kit. So that's another idea. There's fish, there's the bicycle, there's the oars and the life jacket. There are other ideas of what you could put inside. But I think I'm just going to stamp that same reed. But I think I'll put it on the other side. This time over here. Kind of cool. I quite like that. Just simple. Yeah. It's just a nod to the front. Because there's quite a lot happening really. That's quite, not intense, but there's a lot of detail there. So I think it's good to have something simple on the inside. And then I like to just stick my inner on one, near the score line, near the fold. But I don't stick it all, all over. I like to have it as a page. Right, there we go. And there's my card. Yeah, this is my picture. So yeah, I'm quite pleased with how that turned out. I'm glad I remembered before I got too far that I was going to do the cutting. So thank you for sticking with me while I had to backtrack there a little bit. And yeah, I hope you like the technique. You could, if you do know the name of it, what name you call it, I'd love to know. Double vision or eclipse. Maybe it is eclipse because it's very much like the one with the words. And I can see myself doing more with this as well, with other designer series paper or stamping. Would look really cool. So yeah, thank you for joining me, and I will see you again at the next video. Okay, have a great week. Bye.